This episode is sponsored by 𝗬𝗫𝗄𝐻𝐶 Healthcare, your trusted partner in compassionate, high-quality home care across Essex County, Union County, and surrounding areas in New Jersey. Welcome to Meals and Mind Show, where wellness begins with what you eat and how you think. With your host, 𝗵𝗵.
Hi, and welcome to Meals and Mind. This is an 𝗬𝗫𝗄𝐻𝐶 Healthcare. We talk about healthcare knowledge. My name is 𝗵𝗫𝗄𝐻. I'm your host, and today we're going to dive into the powerful connection between mindset and lifestyle. And to do that, we have a special guest today, and her name is Sonia Satra. Sonia is a renowned lifestyle expert and also the founder of Moticise Method, a transformative approach of using movement for mental shifts. Hi, Sonia.
Hi there. Happy to be here. I love this mindset. I'm like, yes.
It is a pleasure. As we usually do start the show, we usually start the show by doing a short question in order for the audience to get to know you a little bit better. So we have about 5 questions, and you have about 30 seconds to answer each one of them. So trust me, there's not. So, are you ready for it?
Okay.
Okay.
Shoot.
So perfect. Tell the audience, what is your go-to comfort food?
Ice cream. That is not even like there's no second.
No second. Oh, wow.
I think if I were on a deserted island, I would be good with salad, shrimp, and ice cream.
Salad, shrimp, and ice cream. That's a very good combination.
Love ice cream, yeah.
On a day-to-day basis, if you really wanted to relax, what would you do? What would come to mind?
So it's interesting because I do love to move, and movement helps me relax.
Oh, really?
So I probably would go for a run, and then I would, I don't know, get a massage or something. Yeah. But the combination would be the perfect thing for me.
Oh, the perfect things for you. What was the last book that you read?
It's actually by a shaman psychic. I was on the plane and I was reading it. I can't remember the name of it. His name is Sean Leonard. It's his book.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah.
So that's such a question. We have a fourth question. If you could have eaten one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ice cream. No, I'm just kidding. I love ice cream. I would go with salad of some sort.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm a bit of a salad person.
Okay.
Is that disappointing?
No, actually, it's really good.
We are on Meals and Mind. It's pretty healthy, but yeah.
Okay, that's a very very good one. If somebody come to you for an advice and their mind is a little bit of, somebody come to an advice, especially about motivation work, what one thing that you live your life? What one quote that you have lived your life by?
Change your mind, change your life.
Oh, really?
That or, life begins outside your comfort zone. Both of those are very, things we've heard a lot of. But I do believe in both of them.
Oh, you do believe in both of them?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So you see now, as you see, it was a very good question.
Those
question.
are good. Yeah.
Very good question.
Yeah.
Very easy question. So we're gonna get into I forgot the name of the question. Now I have a few questions for you, and I know that you have one of the things that you do, and we're really inspired by that. I know it sounds a little bit because it's a little bit unpersonal because I'm looking at the questions, but we're gonna dive in because this question I wanted to make sure that I ask you directly and properly too. So one of the questions is, you often speak about the power of movement. Actually, you just did, and mindset. How did that become such a personal and professional passion for you?
So, do I only have 30 seconds
No,
for this
actually,
answer?
no.
Because it's longer than that.
Yeah.
So it actually started back in my acting days when I was
yes.
acting. I had when I first got out to LA, I was like, really believed, hey, anything is possible. Someone's made it. Why can't I?
Yes.
And I just took a lot of chances. I did everything you had to do. But I did realize that you get rejected a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I did start to study mindset and anything I could to be able to persevere and get up every time everybody told you weren't good enough at whatever.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I ended up getting 𝗦𝗁cie 𝗶𝗂𝗦 on Guiding Lights.
Oh, yes,
and
yes.
so I came back to New York and I worked on that for a lot of years, and I could have continued, but I decided if there was ever any time that I was going to go and try to play a different role, I needed to go back to LA and be rejected again and go through that whole thing. But this time I left with a bit of the imposter syndrome. Like, oh, I'm never going to work again. Like, that was a fluke. People are going to figure out that I really don't know what I was doing. Like, and it was insane. Like 6,000 people auditioned for that role.
Oh, and you got
Somehow
it.
I got it, right?
Yeah.
And it just seemed like, what are the odds of that? It's like winning the lottery, you know?
Yes, of course, yeah.
And so I kind of went back with this belief that I was just never going to work again. And I embodied that belief very thoroughly. And so even when I went in for auditions, I would go in as if I wasn't going to get it.
Okay.
And guess what? I get it.
Yes.
So it was a year and a half later, and I hadn't booked one single job. And I had a better agent. I had a great manager. I had, 10,000 hours of practice and work from being on that. And so I really was set up to move, and I wasn't. And so I was turtle sitting for cash. And I happened to be up on this bluff at this beautiful house mansion of these people that I was turtle sitting for. And it was just kind of overlooking the ocean. And I had this aha of, wow, I used the same mindset tools to succeed as I was now using to fail.
To fail.
Yes. And it was because when I first got out there, I envisioned visioning success, and now I was visioning failure. I was asking questions like, who could I reach out to? What could I do? Now I was asking questions like, why won't anyone hire me? And my self-talk as well. Here it was like, anybody could do it. And here it was like, I'm never going to work again. And so even though I was taking action, even though I was going out and auditioning, the results were definitely the direct result of the mindset that I had. And so that was when I decided, okay, I got to change it. So I decided I was going to start to run, and I was going to change my mindset. And so there was this pathway up in Santa Monica Mountains, and I would run every day. And there was a bridge up on the top, and I would run up to the top of the mountain.
Bridge,
and then I would yell out what I wanted to hear because it would echo back.
Yes.
And so I'd yell out, "You got the job," and it would echo back, "You got the job." And then I would celebrate as if, and then I would run back down. And I did that 2 weeks later. I booked a national commercial.
Oh, wow.
2 months later, running back down that trail, I got a call from my manager saying, you got the job. And I was when I got One Life to Live and Nurse. Which sometimes I probably looked a little psycho up there cheering to, you got the job all by myself. But, and so it was the first time I had actually used mindset at the same time of movement. But I wasn't coaching. I didn't think anything of it. Fast forward many years later, I had kids and 2 little kids, and I'd run to the gym for a second, and I was watching all the TVs with bad news, and I just thought, oh, it's so depressing, and I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I could do those mindset things that I used to do. And that was the day I was running on a treadmill. So there you go. I was moving when I thought of it. I was like, what if I created a class or something where I did do that, or you were guided through that? So you're moving, but you're also changing your mindset, and you're asking questions that lead you to a goal so that you would get different results. And, I stuffed it in a drawer for a while, but then I pulled it out a couple months later, and I started to figure out what it was and created this process that ultimately became Moticise. And then at the same time, I think I'm at like 100 seconds at this point. But at the same time, there was all this brain stuff that was coming out. It was really exploding at that point, and it was really backing up that idea of when you move, a whole thing is happening in your brain. There's a protein that's released, and it actually creates neurogenesis. So you're getting more brain cells. And when you combine it with emotion, it actually creates new neural pathways. And so you can rewire your brain essentially. And you're more focused, you're more creative, you're more motivated. And you feel better, and come up with ideas that you don't normally do. It's like, have you ever been sitting, at your desk, or maybe you're trying to come up with something and you can't, and then you get up, either get something to drink, or maybe you decide to go outside, and all of a sudden you're like, I got it,
it's that movement.
That's actually a physical process that's happening. It's not just a coincidence that happens all the time.
Now there's something there's a lot of things that you mentioned that interesting, and I want to get back to that question. One of them is that, okay, having had success, doing the show in New York, and now you wanted to go back to Cali, and then you took it with a whole different mindset, which was negative. What was the shift? Like, what do you think was the shift? Is just the lack of, what was the shift for you? What was the shift? Why was it shift? And what was the shift? Do you have an idea?
Maybe it comes with that I suddenly had something to lose, right?
Okay.
When I started,
you didn't have nothing.
Right? It's just like, somebody's got to make it. Why not me?
I see. So that was
and so you just throw everything out there. And then all of a sudden I had this success, and now all of a sudden I felt like,
you felt like
I might lose this. And then you start getting into your own head, and you start spiraling, and you start comparing, and you start looking at like, well, maybe I do it again, or what am I doing leaving this show, and why am I doing that, and that's stupid. And so I started to really get into that, and you feel what you focus on.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And so I started to focus on all the negative things, and how maybe it was a mistake and I shouldn't do it, and other people were like, why would you leave? And
of course, that got into your head.
And so it does, and then it spirals.
Okay. Now, one of the questions that I have that you mentioned about movement, which I totally agree with, I think that movement can change and wire your brain, especially the more you move, the more then your whole brain is keeping keep blood moving forward.
Right. Blood, oxygen is going to your brain. Right.
Now, what about those people that they get the same thing but in different way, which is what do you call that? Not motivation, but which is not therapy. I wouldn't say therapy. When you practice, when you sit down, you practice your meditation. Mm-hmm. So obviously, if you're looking at meditation and moving, and meditation and doing an exercise like running, it's two different lanes. But some of the people said, okay, you know what? If I want to keep the oxygen back again to my brain, I'm going to keep moving. But some people said, you know what? If I'm going to motivation, if I'm going to do any type of changing into my brain, I can meditate. So what's your thought on that?
I actually think it's a great question, because meditation does have very similar impact on your brain that movement does.
Yeah.
I actually view it as two sides of the same coin. And so it's, you're in the center, and there are times you need movement to activate, right? And there are other times when maybe you need to center and calm. And so I use them both. I think they're both very effective. And I think they both work really well together.
Okay.
I really do, because I think if you just meditate and never move, you're missing out on an energy that exercise gives you. Plus, it's healthy.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And if you only are moving and running and all that all the time, you might be missing out on a centering and a calming. So
I see.
And you practice both.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
In fact, at the end of the original Moticise class, I had a meditation.
Oh, you did meditation.
Yeah. So I don't always do it now, because it's sort of it's changed a bit. It's a bit because not everybody wanted to do aerobics, which it originally was, where the mindset matched the movement. And now I do a lot of walking with people. And so at the end of a walk, you don't always lay down.
Yeah.
But I did used to do that.
You just do that. Okay. Now I have and I know that you about Moticise. Okay, I'm sorry. Your Moticise methods blend movement and mindset in such a unique way. For someone just hearing about it for the first time, how can they begin using movement to create a mental shift, even if they're at home or going through a tough season in their life?
Mm-hmm. So just the act of moving will help. It really does. We know so much about movement and mood, and it helps against depression and like hugely. In fact, there are some countries like New Zealand and Australia where doctors will actually prescribe exercise before medicine. And there was just recently an article, I was actually back out, and I think in the fall in the New York Times or Washington Post, one of those, where they were actually talking about a study where they were comparing people who exercised versus people who were taking antidepressants. I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you should get off antidepressants if you're on it. Like, definitely consult a physician first. However, what they are finding is that they have similar results. It taps the similar place of your brain. So if you're going through a tough time, I really, really recommend moving. Will activate things, and it will start to spark ideas. But I think Moticise really does is it combines questions, positive questions, with the movement. So it's harnessing the movement, all of these things that are happening in your physical body and in your brain, and then gearing it towards a specific question. And your brain is like Google. Yeah. You know, what you ask, it will answer. So if you, like me, I asked good questions and I got good answers when I was like, why won't anyone hire me? It's going to go into your brain and it's going to go figure out, well, because you suck. Right? It's never good. Yeah. And so it's important to ask questions like, what can I do today? Or what's one thing I can do? Or a question that's in the Moticise process that is one of my favorite, and I think highly underestimated, is what do you have? Because anytime you come to a challenge or something that, is hard or a goal, you think of all the things you don't have, right? You got the laundry list of all the reasons why you can't do it, right? Yes. I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the energy, I don't have, we're so good at coming up with that list. Oh yeah, we are. Right? We're the expert on that. Exactly. But we don't think about what we have. No. And definitely. So when you start to shift your focus on, all right, well, what do I have? Even if it's, I have the desire to feel better. That counts, right? Yeah. I have a computer that has information. I have one person in my life who believes in me or supports me. I have a skill set. I have experience. I have, and you just start to list those things out. Suddenly you're like, okay, well, maybe I have a little more than I thought. And what it does is it changes your perspective. So instead of coming to a problem from a place of lack, you're now coming to it from a place of empowerment. Yes, of course. And that can change everything.
Now, how did you come up with the name? I know the story, but I would like to tell the audience, how did you come up with the name Moticise?
So I was on that treadmill that day and I was running. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if, and I was imagining what it was. And I was like, it's kind of motivational, it's exercise. And I was like, Moticise. So it's the Moti from motivational, size from exercise. So I stopped and I put it in my phone just so I wouldn't forget it. And I kind of played around with some different hybrids, but that's what that's the name. What I kind of found is that it's really manifestation through movement, because what happens is you start to manifest things
and that
you want. You're embodying things.
Yes, of course.
And so it becomes a part of you, and you're starting to think things. You're also your energy, because you're moving. Yes. So you're putting out more positive energy. I mean, I had one of my first classes, somebody came out and they were like, I literally booked a client on my way out the door. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty fast. It doesn't always happen that fast, but that was good.
Yeah, but that's really good,
and, like those interesting things happen. So, I look at it both ways. Yes, you get motivated, but people often say with the motivational exercise, like, oh, are you going to motivate me to exercise? I'm like, well, maybe. Yeah. An unexpected byproduct that it was not planned, it was lucky, was that people who don't like to exercise often like Moticise, because you're thinking about something else instead of the exercise.
I see.
So it doesn't work. You have to think about a technique. Like if you're playing tennis and you're trying to do a new shot or something like that, and you have to like think about that shot, it won't work as well. It's because that's where your focus has to go.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have this space to be able to answer these other questions. But you can do that running, walking, biking, on a elliptical, or even in the aerobics class, because it had the movements match the mindset. So that also kind of anchored it into your body.
Okay. Now I know two things, right? I know one of the things that that's what I love about our questions, and we get to know, I guess very well. And I know one of your favorite thing to do is eating ice cream, right? Trust me. If competition, I think I will win at this point. Like,
I don't know. I have a tremendous capacity for ice cream. People underestimate me.
Now, how nutrition plays into how do you put nutrition in Moticise? Like, how do you
incorporate it. I actually used to incorporate it more because I got health coaching certification so that I could incorporate more of it, because I do believe what you eat also impacts your mind and your body.
Yeah.
And so it is important to include that piece into it as, meals in mind. I mean, it's very powerful because it is. We gut biome is really powerful, and when that's disrupted by eating a lot of processed foods or sugar or any of those things that aren't so great for us, it is and makes us more depressed, more anxious, more stressed, all those things that we don't want to feel.
Actually,
and it weighs us with weight, but also just makes you feel tired if you're eating a lot of junk. So I think it's the crucial piece of it.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So.
Okay. That's really good.
It's obviously not perfect since I eat a lot of ice cream. I don't eat a lot of ice cream. I just
actually, we're not looking for perfect, because the thing is, definitely. I don't really. That's one of the things people stop doing things, because if they think, okay, I've been good for 7 days, but the fact that I eat ice cream today and then I'm not good, then they're gonna reverse to eating more junk food, and they're not seeing the 7 days they were doing good, because they're thinking of being perfect, so they're thinking of being perfect. I really think that's a very good thing that you introduce nutrition. I do believe nutrition is a very big key part of health. Not only exercise, obviously exercise do count, but nutrition is very good. I think nutrition is very good, a key part of being healthy.
I totally agree.
It's
it
very
impacts
key part.
everything. Your sleep and your
it's a very good key part of it. Okay. Now we do have another question for you, and I hope that okay.
I feel a trick question coming on. Okay, go for it.
We all have those moments where motivation dips, right? When that happens in your own life, how do you reset or get your rhythm back?
So, for me, two strategies often work. And it goes back to actually my original quote of getting outside your comfort zone. That's a big one. So it's, what can I do that pushes me outside my comfort zone? Sometimes people need small steps to get out. Sometimes for me, a bigger, more dramatic step will help shake the system. The woman's like, stuff's not big enough. I need the bigger, I need a huge one, right? So I'll
push you out of that.
I'll do something. Often for me, it's something physical. It doesn't have to be, but it sometimes I take a class, or sometimes for me, I'll often do. It's a little bit to push it too, but I'm doing a Spartan race with somebody. I just came back from a bike trip in Ireland, and that was a bit of a
extreme
pushing myself. Set some big goal for myself that pushes me outside my comfort zone, because suddenly I'm like, I better do something. I won't be able to do it. That's one. The second thing I'll do is I will sometimes get help. I'm a huge believer of getting some kind of help or accountability. Of course. Obviously, I do that for other people, but there are times when that's just a necessary piece to get you going. Or I will create something. I used to do that a lot more in my coaching practice in the beginning, like a workshop with somebody. So that, again, it was like built-in accountability. Now I don't necessarily have to have somebody. Sometimes I will, but I'll date, and I'll put it out there, and I'm like, okay, well, it's out there now.
You gotta do it. Yeah.
It's so those that I will use
to get you into that depth. Okay.
Something to sort of activate the excitement again, to figure out what was it that I liked about this at the beginning, or what is it that I love in my life. Maybe you just need to do that again. Yeah. And for some people, maybe it's not exercise. Maybe it's you need to go to a meditation retreat, or go to get a massage for a day and just
just relax yourself.
Or go just be in nature, really just reconnect to something else. So when you come back, you have a different perspective. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It could be free.
It could be free. Just walking to go to the park should be.
Yeah.
That will change because it's embedded in self-movement. And especially when you walk in, I don't think you're so focused in whatever was going on and your brain, because there's so many things in front of you that you have to look, and all of a sudden you see some sort of positivity that comes through.
And a fun fact about nature is it actually has the same frequency as love.
Really?
Yes. So it's one of the reasons why being around plants and flowers and trees is because they have an elevated frequency.
Oh.
And so we start to sort of entrain or tune into that, and that elevates our own. So it is a really healthy thing.
Oh, that's really good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Actually, we do have another question for you. It is really fun, and okay. Sometimes it's the small routine that make the biggest difference. Is there any habit or ritual that really keeps your mindset grounded? I think I feel like we have the same question over here again.
Or maybe just the answer is the same. But no.
Yeah, I feel like you have an answer. Okay, so one of the things.
So I might be able to answer that a little differently, because of course you're going to probably expect that I would say exercise, and it is. There's a book, Power of Habit. He talks about a keystone habit. So it's like one habit that sort of has a trigger. And I do believe in that concept. And for me, yes, movement of some sort is one of those keystone habits. But another thing that I will often do too is start the day with different questions. Because sometimes when you wake up and you're just I sometimes fall into this trap, but I'll wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm already late, or I'm already haven't done anything. I already snoozed too long, and then I missed this, and then I didn't do this right, and I'm behind from the thing I didn't finish yesterday. And so again, it starts this sort of negative kind of energy, self-talk already. I'm not enough. I'm already behind. And so that activates a stress and a sort of heaviness and a negativity. And so to sort of compensate for that, it's like, okay, that's not a good set of questions. So it's like, what is, how do I want this day to look? What's one thing I really want to accomplish today? Or what's one thing I can do that's going to make me feel great?
Really big,
what's something I'm really grateful for? So I'll set my day a little bit better with different questions.
Okay, perfect. We have another question I would like to ask you, because I know it's come from the book that you have written. You also read about this in your book. What if it were easy, especially your idea of the daring you? I'm thinking that that's what you said when you wanted to do something to push you over. Okay, where you invite people to choose faith over fear and push past their limit. What's one common belief or habit you think holds people back from real change?
Fear. Fear is the biggest showstopper ever for all of us. And we all have different things that scare us, and our tolerance for is different, and it's different in different areas. For some, right? Mm-hmm. We're really daring in our careers, but maybe not in relationships. For others, maybe it's the other way around, right? And so we're, for me, like doing some kind of physical challenge, other people are like, no, you know. And so, but I think it's to take the steps. To take those steps, to try to, what's one thing you're afraid of, and how am I going to make that happen? Again, it's the question, right? So then your brain starts thinking, how am I make it happen. Okay, well, not alone, so I need to find somebody, or
of course.
I need to learn the skill set in order to do it. So, but I do think, fear is.
I feel it, yeah. I like that, the dare idea, definitely. And it's not a question about also to what you're scared of. It's a question about what you wanted to do, because I think you can't quote it. And I remember I was watching the gentleman who was talking, and he said he went to a cemetery, and that's where all dream dies. So majority of people, unfortunately, they don't have enough there to do what they really want to do. It's not that because they're scared of it. It's just like they don't want to do. They cannot find the mind to do it, to go for it, to have the it's a courage, like to have the courage to do it. Yeah. So the daring,
it's I don't know if why I just suddenly had this thought of like, are we really more taught to be secure and safe? And I mean, inherently human beings survival, so safety is a thing, right? But I don't know that we're really taught to like take chances, in the same way. Like I feel like more told to be careful.
Yeah, of course,
the right thing.
Yeah,
do the right thing, right? Follow these steps. Like, no, you shouldn't. Don't be crazy.
Yeah.
That's like, And so I think that it takes a lot to overcome that.
To recommend that, yeah.
And to that
of that comfort.
Of that comfort, or that what's the thing, like what you've been taught your whole life.
Your life.
Yeah.
I think I think it's a very good point that you have mentioned. If I would have asked, it's also and that idea is we have been taught to protect ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So practically, if there's something that, especially if it's unknown to you, so one of your brain cells would say, hey, you never done this.
Right.
How do you know you're going to be successful at it? How do you know you're going to be good at it? How do you know? So with all of those questions, obviously the first thing you're going to want to do is protect yourself. Hey, I don't want to put myself into that position where somebody's going to laugh at me. So basically, we are so conform and protect ourselves. We lost or lose all the opportunity that or all the chances we should have taken.
Right.
So we are, I think it's at the beginning. It started at the beginning of your childhood where,
in many ways, it really is. It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Tony Robbins has a quote that I really love. And that's, the quality of your life is equal to the amount of discomfort that you can tolerate. Is that right? I might be misquoting him. But the idea of uncertainty, that's it. Sorry. So it's the quality of your life is equal to the amount of uncertainty you can tolerate.
Yeah.
And I think I put in discomfort. It's funny. I was just bike riding in right? And years ago, I did some work with a shaman, and I was on this wisdom quest, and he very pointedly came to me, and he's just, because I was always cold, and he's just like, if you're cold, it's only temporary. It's okay to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
And so when I was biking, I was like, that became a bit of a mantra of like, it's okay to be uncomfortable. It rains, it's okay. If it gets hot, it's okay. If my legs hurt, it's okay. And we sometimes try so hard to avoid
it.
Discomfort.
Yes,
and yet he's so right? It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's only temporary. It will change.
It will change. Yes.
And more we can get comfortable with uncomfortable, the more we'll be able to tolerate the fear, because that's what we're afraid of, is the discomfort.
It's true. That is true. It is a discomfort. But the thing also, that is when people have to understand that. And one of the things that I think I get it from, just like the same way as happiness is just a feeling. Like anger is a feeling; it will pass.
Yeah,
the same
and that's
way.
the same with fear. It's the feeling of fear, which is uncomfortable. That's what we don't want to have. The actual thing we have to do is probably not that scary, right? Most of us are not like jumping off of cliffs or something, right? We're just so it's taking some steps that are just like ABC, but it's the feeling that we feel that we're like,
Exactly. Yeah, it will pass. As happiness pass,
Yeah. Right.
discomfort will pass.
Right.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
But thank you, Sonia. You have been great guest.
Thank you.
very
This
much
was
for being
so
a
fun.
part.
Great
Thank you.
questions.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Really
I
cool.
really appreciate and all you have a question and or participate on a quick question about 30 seconds. But this is the end of our show. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for watching us. Thank you and have a great day.
This episode is sponsored by 𝗬𝗧rise Healthcare, your trusted partner in compassionate, high-quality home care. From skilled nursing and pediatric care to 24/7 live-in assistance and essential care services, 𝗬𝗧rise is here to support your health journey every step of the way. Learn more at 𝗬𝗃𝗃healthcare.com or call 1-866-428-8747 to book a quick consultation with our licensed nurse. Because at 𝗬𝗧rise, we believe care should feel like family.